Shalom likulam! Hello everybody! Welcome to part 3 of our lesson series on Hebrew numbers. This time, we're going to see multiples of 10 and how they are used for both genders. We're going to see 20 to 1 million. Let's go! In Hebrew, multiples of 10 are not gender specific. So the Hebrew way of saying 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and even up to quintillion are used for both masculine and feminine subjects, feminine nouns. So here are just our first examples. Esrim, 20. Shloshim, 30. Arbaim, 40. Chamishim, 50. Shishim, 60. Shiv'im, 70. Shmonim, 80. Tish'im, 90. Me'ah, 100. So this is just to kickstart this lesson, and all the way until million, billion, quintillion. These kinds of numbers can be used to denote both masculine and feminine nouns. So as I said, multiples of 10 have no gender. Let's see 20 to 100. Note how these numbers denote both masculine and feminine nouns. But first, let's pronounce these numbers. 20, Esrim. 30, Shloshim. 40, Arbaim. 50, Chamishim. 60, Shishim. 70, Shiv'im. 80, Shmonim. 90, Tish'im. 100, Me'ah. Okay, now let's apply the rule that these numbers can be used for both masculine and feminine nouns. So on the left side, we have the masculine noun tapuach. Tapuach means apple. And to say apples, in the plural, we say tapuchim. So those are masculine nouns. On the right side, we have banana. Banana is a feminine noun, and to say bananas in the plural, we say bananot. Bananot. So we use the same form of the number 20. There's just one, esrim. It can be used for both these masculine and feminine nouns. So to say 20 apples, that's esrim tapuchim. And to say 20 bananas, we use esrim also. So esrim bananot. Esrim bananot. Esrim tapuchim, 20 apples. Esrim bananot, 20 bananas. So to say 30 bananas, that's shloshim bananot. 30 apples, that's shloshim tapuchim, and so on and so forth. Now let's see 200 to 1000. Being multiples of 10, as always, these numbers denote both masculine and feminine nouns. Let's pronounce them now. 200, matayim. 300, shloshmeot. 400, arbameot. 500, chameshmeot. 600, sheshmeot. 700, shvameot. 800, shmonemeot. 900, tshemeot. 1000, elef. So we said previously that me'ah means 100, 100. So several hundreds is me'ot. That's the plural form of hundreds. So when beginning from 300, so shalosh means 3. So to say 300, we say shlosh me'ot. And of course, arba means 4. Me'ot means hundreds. So that's literally saying 4 hundreds. And so on and so forth. So now let's look at the applications now. So to say 200 apples, we say matayim tapuchim. Matayim tapuchim. And to say 200 bananas, we say 200 bananot. 200 bananot. Now, how do you say 600 apples and 600 bananas? 600 apples would be 600 tapuchim. 600 tapuchim. And to say 600 bananas, we say 600 bananot. 600 bananot. Now let's see 2,000 to 10,000. Note that 3,000 to 9,000 are construct chains that begin with a construct state. In the previous lesson, part 2 of this lesson series on Hebrew numbers, I touched on this subject and explained about construct chains and construct states, so you might want to review that lesson. Okay, so let's say these numbers. 2,000, 2,000, 3,000, 3,000, 4,000, 4,000, 5,000, 5,000, 6,000, 6,000, 7,000, 7,000, 8,000, 8,000, 9,000, 9,000, 10,000, 10,000. So elef means thousand, and alafim is the plural form of elef. Alafim, thousands. Elef, thousand. Alafim, thousands. So that's why, okay, starting from 3,000 all the way to 10,000, we say shloshet alafim. So shlosha, that's 3. Shloshet is the construct state of that. That means 3 of. So 3 of thousands. Shloshet alafim. Arba'at alafim. That's 4 of thousands. Chameshet alafim. That's 5 of thousands, and so on and so forth. So now let's apply that. So to say 2,000 apples, that's 2,000 tapuchim, and 2,000 bananas, that would be 2,000 bananot. The same word, same way of saying the number. And to say 8,000 apples, that would be 8,000 tapuchim, and to say 8,000 bananas, that's 8,000 bananot. Now let's see 20,000 to 100,000. These numbers use the combination of the cardinal number plus elef. Elef means thousand. So to say 20,000, that's esrim elef. Literally, so esrim means 20, elef means thousand. So 20,000. Esrim elef. 20,000. Now let's say the other numbers. 30,000, 30,000, 40,000, 40,000, 50,000, 50,000, 60,000, 60,000, 70,000, 70,000, 80,000, 80,000, 90,000, 90,000, and 100,000, that's 100,000. Now let's apply some of those numbers to say 20,000 apples and 20,000 bananas. So we say 20,000 tapuchim, 20,000 apples, and 20,000 bananot, 20,000 bananas. Now, how do we say 50,000 apples and 50,000 bananas? We say 50,000 tapuchim, 50,000 apples, and 50,000 bananot, 50,000 bananas. And finally, let's see 200,000 to 1 million. 200,000 to 900,000 use the combination of the cardinal number plus elef, which means thousand. So to say 200,000, that's 200,000. 200,000. 300,000, 300,000. 400,000, 400,000. 500,000, 500,000. 600,000, 600,000. 700,000, 700,000. 800,000, 800,000. 900,000, 900,000. And 1 million is milyon. Now let's apply some of those numbers to say 200,000 apples, that's 200,000 tapuchim. And to say 200,000 bananas, that's 200,000 bananot. 200,000 bananot. Now, how about 400,000 apples and 400,000 bananas? So that would be 400,000. So 400,000 tapuchim, that's 400,000 apples, and 400,000 bananot, that's 400,000 bananas. Okay, so we saw a lot of numbers. Now let's see some rules and examples. Please note these rules about counting in Hebrew. If a noun has 10 items or fewer, the items are written in the plural form. So for example, to say 10 fingers, so fingers, that's the plural form of the feminine noun, etzba. So etzbaot, fingers, that's feminine plural noun. So we use eser. Okay, so eser is the female form of the number 10. Eser etzbaot. Eser etzbaot. 10 fingers. But if the noun has more than 10 items, you can write the items as singular or as plural. It's your choice. So let's look at these examples. So to say 50 shekels, by the way, shekel is the monetary unit, the currency used in Israel. Shekel is the singular form, okay, of the currency in Israel. So shekel. But to say shekels in the plural, that's shkalim. So to say 50 shekels, I can say 50 shkalim in the plural, so 50 shekels, or 50 shekel. 50 means 50, shekel means shekel, 50 shekel. So 50 shekels or 50 shekel. Both are correct. Well, in reality, the singular option is more commonly used for frequently counted nouns like money. In this case, we have the example of shekels or shekel. It could be applied to hours, days, years, and percentages. These are things that we count very often. We're going to see more examples. Let's use the number 40, arbaim. Here are examples where we see the numbered items in their plural form. So on the left, I can say, I have visited 40 countries. Okay, I can say, bikarti 40 medinot. Bikarti, I visited, 40 medinot. Medinot means countries. It's the feminine plural noun. So literally what I'm saying here is I visited 40 countries. And that's exactly what it means. I have visited 40 countries. And on the right side, we're going to use shekels again. So to say I have 40 shekels, I'd say Yeshli 40 shkalim. Yeshli 40 shkalim. So literally, yesh, there is, li, to to me. So there is to me 40 shekels. That's how we say I have 40 shekels in Hebrew. יש לי 40 שקלים. So in both of these examples, we're using the plural form of the item that's being counted. Okay, now this time let's see a comparison of cases where we can use, we opt to use the singular noun and an option to use the plural noun. So on the left side, we read 40 years in the desert. 40 shana bamidbar. 40. Shana, that's the singular, a singular feminine noun that means year. Ba means in the. Midbar means desert. So shana is a feminine noun in its singular form. So 40 shana is literally 40 year. 40 shana bamidbar, 40 year in the desert. But of course, what we really mean there is 40 years in the desert. This is a correct way of saying it. We could have said 40 shanim bamidbar, and that would have also been correct. So we have the option to say the item being denoted in its singular form or in its plural form. Now let's look at the example on the right side. It says for 40 years. So that's b'meshek 40 shanim. Here we opted to use the plural form of the word for years. Years in Hebrew is shanim. So shana, that's a singular form, year, and the plural form of year is years. Okay, that's shanim. Shana, shanim, years. So going back here, for 40 years, b'meshek 40 shanim. B'meshek, be means in, meshek means duration of, 40 shanim, years. So I could have said b'meshek 40 shana. Okay, that's also okay. So we could opt to say the plural or the singular form of the noun that we are denoting here. But in this case, the option I chose was to say for 40 years, b'meshek 40 shanim, and it's also correct. That means for 40 years. Literally, it's saying in duration of 40 years. Now let's see some more examples. So this time we're going to use the words days and nights. So on the left side, we read 40 days and 40 nights. 40 yom ve-40 layla. So literally that's saying 40 yom, 40 day, ve, that means and, 40 layla, night. So literally it's saying 40 day and 40 night. That's correct. We can say that that means 40 days and 40 nights, because the rule says that we can choose to use the singular or the plural forms of the items being denoted if it's above 10. So 40 yom ve-40 layla. This is the option to use the singular nouns. So layla means night and yom means day, both in the singular form. On the right side, here we see plural nouns. So a layla means night. In its plural form, it's leilot, and yom means day. In the plural form, it's yamim. So in this example on the right side, we read 40 days and 40 days and nights in the desert. 40 days and nights in the desert. So here we're reading 40 yamim veleilot bamidbar. 40 yamim veleilot bamidbar. 40 yamim, 40 days, ve, and leilot means night. Ba means in the, midbar means desert. So 40 ימים ולילות במדבר. 40 ימים ולילות במדבר. 40 days and nights in the desert. So that's exactly what it says. 40 days and 40 nights. 40 days and nights in the desert. And so in here we clearly have the option to use the singular or the plural form of the items that we are denoting. So remember these rules about counting in Hebrew. If a noun has 10 items or fewer, less than 10 items, the items are always written in plural. So in our example here, 10 fingers, it's eser etzbaot. Etzbaot is in the plural. But if the noun has more than 10 items, you can write the items as singular or as plural. It's really your choice. And remember, in Hebrew, 10 has a gender. Eser is the feminine form of the number 10, and asara is the masculine form of the number 10. However, multiples of 10 are not gender specific. So 10 times 2, 10 times 3, 10 times 4, that's 20, 30, 40, etc., etc. Starting from 20 going above, you can use the multiples of 10 for denoting both masculine and feminine nouns. I hope this lesson has been useful to you, and thank you for watching. I hope to see you again next time when we go to part 4 of our lesson series on numbers. And there we're going to learn how to use units attached to the multiples of 10, and we'll see how that would be gender specific. So see you next time. להתראות.